You're listening to The Ride to Work with Pastor Fred. Fuel for your faith before you clock in. Enjoy the ride.
Hello, and thank you again for joining us for the ride to work. It is Wednesday. As I always say, we're right smack dab in the middle of it. And man, it's been a rough week so far. But I when I discuss these things, I think my sister asked me um one time. No, I don't think it. No, maybe it wasn't my sister. I can't remember what it was, but asked me as far as uh where and how do I, the topics and where do they come from as far as the series topics and stuff. And it's about just meditation. It's about um, quiet time, and it's about just asking. What needs to be said? What needs to be stated? And sometimes it comes from personal reflections. Sometimes it comes from things that I've noticed that I've observed outside of my own spectrum, my own life, and sometimes it's just inspired by something I may have seen or listened to or experienced. I mean, like I said, it's just different things. But this has been a rough week this week. And I've had to, after each episode, just, really, a lot of soul searching takes place at times, sometimes. So today we're on Wednesday and we're on the series as far as you pray for change, but protect the habit. Mm. Today we want to talk about stop negotiating with discipline. That word negotiating, that's kind of a root thing in what we're going to be dealing with today. Negotiating with discipline. Basically meaning should I, shouldn't I? Basically, yeah. That's what it is. And our character reference is Paul, my favorite person. Outside of Jesus, as far as, but my favorite apostle to speak on, to teach on, to study on, just to read about. Paul was is an amazing character, amazing story. And if anybody knows about transformation, it's Paul. So let's go. I want to just start out by saying, what we're talking about today. It's, um, how am I going to put this? We're talking about something that separates intention from transformation. And that word is discipline. Discipline. Because a lot of us, we don't lack desire. That's not the problem. That's not the issue. We just lack consistency. We cannot be consistent. And consistency, hear me well, is where change becomes real. That's where it becomes real. And the first thing that I want to tell you is, look, discipline, say it like this. Discipline is the bridge between prayer and results. That's what it is. What you pray for requires what you practice. I can't say it any plainer than that. I can't. A lot of people pray for better health, financial stability, stronger relationships, spiritual growth. We're praying for all of that. But prayer alone does not produce outcomes, people. It doesn't. Hmm? Prayer opens doors, but discipline walks through them. Did you hear what I just said? Paul understood this. He got it. It registered with him. That's why he said he disciplined his body. That's why he said it. Not because he hated it. And when we say discipline, I mean he put his body through all types of trials and tests and pains and things just like a trainer, a boxer or somebody training for a fight or a runner training for a run. They push themselves to limits to make themselves stronger to be able to hold up under the pressure of the weight. He didn't do it because he hated his body. He did it because he understood alignment. Without discipline, prayer just becomes emotional relief. I feel better, yeah, because I prayed about it, but I ain't changed. There's no transformation at all. Just made me feel good that I prayed about it. Listen, faith requires follow through. I hope you can write that down. Write that down. Let that stick with you this morning. Faith requires follow through. It does. You praying without discipline creates frustration, not transformation. Because at some point you'll be praying the same prayer over and over again because you had no follow through. You just didn't. Alignment matters as much as desire does. Yeah, you want it, but alignment matters just as much. You got to align it. Your actions, your patterns, they have to line up with what you're asking. You cannot outpray bad habits. That's the second thing I need to tell you. You can't do it. You can't do it. You cannot do it. Habits are stronger than intentions. That's why they're habits. It's repeated behavior. Hear me when I say it. And repeated behavior becomes identity. People know you by that. You know yourself by that. That's why people say, I prayed about it, but it just still ain't changed. Man, let me lighten it up a little bit. I almost went in. Look, prayer acknowledges the problem, but discipline addresses the pattern. That's what happens. Discipline addresses the pattern. The pattern is the problem. And discipline addresses that. Prayer acknowledges it, but discipline addresses it. Paul didn't just believe differently, he lived differently. That's the difference. That's alignment. Habits, man, listen. Like I said, they're stronger than intentions. Habits shape outcomes more than emotions. They do. Because a habit, you can do it and not even feel anything. But because it's a habit, it's hard to not do. Because anything you repeat, it builds your identity. It just does. And if you're not consistent, if you cannot be consistent, your spiritual progress, it just becomes weaker. That's all. You can start out like a ball of fire, but if you're not consistent, you're not going to get stronger. You're just going to get weaker. What you repeat will eventually rule you. Yeah, it will. It'll eventually rule you. What you repeat, because repetition determines direction, the way that you're going to go. What you keep doing. Repetition builds identity. What you, or should I say, who you, let me say it like that. I was going to say what, but let me personalize it. Who you repeatedly are becomes who you permanently become. If you keep showing up the same way, that's who you permanently going to be. If you keep talking the same way, that's how you permanently going to talk. You keep behaving, keep regressing, keep lying. Let's just make it plain. Keep lying, keep cussing, keep doing the things that you do. That's who pretty much you're going to permanently become. Repetition determines direction. I have to say it again. Your identity isn't formed in one moment. No, it's not. It's formed through patterns. Patterns. What you do daily, what you tolerate regularly, what you ignore consistently. Patterns. Paul became strong spiritually not overnight, but through repeated discipline. This is why small habits matter, because small habits become big outcomes. But you got to have the right habits. You got to. The danger's not in one bad day. It's not in one bad day. No, everybody can have bad days. But it's in the repetition of it, just repeatedly compromising, negotiating. There's that word. Huh? It's like I said, identity is built through repetition. Your future self is being built by your present habits. Hmm? That's what's going on. Repetition creates identity. Today's repetition becomes tomorrow's reality. I couldn't say it any better than that. Look, Paul became who he was because he stopped negotiating with discipline. He stopped negotiating with it. He stopped debating. Hmm? And what he became consistent. He started aligning his life with his purpose. And that's what you have to do. You don't need more motivation. You just need more repetition. That's what you need. You need to be consistent. Thank you so much. Whew, man, this was a good one here for joining us for the ride this morning. We'll be riding again on tomorrow, which will be Thursday, leading down to the end of the week. Juneteenth is coming up. Juneteenth. Maybe we'll do a special Juneteenth episode. We'll see. I'll see what comes, what God gives. But until then, keep riding, keep believing, and stay consistent.